So, what if the secret to being more influential, more desired, and more respected wasn't about doing more, but about doing less? Today, we're going to dive into this powerful and kind of counterintuitive strategy of absence and how making yourself just a little bit scarce can dramatically, and I mean dramatically, increase your value.
Okay, this is it. This is the core idea right here on the screen. This single sentence just captures the entire strategy we're talking about. See, it's saying that overexposure, it doesn't matter how brilliant you are, can actually cheapen your value. The real key is learning when to be seen and, maybe more importantly, when to disappear.
All right, so first up, create value through scarcity. Let's break down this fundamental principle. It's a simple truth, both in economics and, just in human psychology. What is rare is almost always seen as more valuable. The poet La Fontaine had this great way of putting it. He talked about how a ship on the horizon looks like this massive, impressive warship. It's grand, it's awe-inspiring. But as it gets closer, as it becomes more familiar, it just shrinks until it's nothing more than, and these are his words, some sticks bobbing about. Familiarity, it just has a way of killing the magic? And this slide just lays it all out perfectly, right? Look at the contrast. When you're always there, you just become common, a habit. You're easily taken for granted. But a calculated withdrawal, that forces people to see you in a whole new light. It creates the space for them to actually admire you, to honor you. You go from being common to being rare. And this is such a brilliant way to think about it. It's just a natural rhythm. We crave the sun after days of rain, don't we? Its absence makes its return feel like this incredible gift. If it was sunny every single day without fail, we'd totally stop appreciating it. And the exact same principle applies to people. So this dynamic is powerful everywhere in life. But man, nowhere is it more intense than in the world of love and passion. Let's take a look at how absence can literally inflame or completely put out the fires of desire. Okay, so let me introduce you to this guy, Sir Guillaume de Balaun, a medieval troubadour. He hears from a friend that the best part of being in love is the makeup part, after a fight. So he thinks, hey, I want to feel that, and decides to manufacture a fake fight with his beloved, Lady Guillemma. He storms off, cuts all contact, all just so he can experience that blissful reunion. But this is where the plan goes completely off the rails. His absence doesn't make her angry. It makes her love him even more. She starts chasing him, sending messengers, writing notes. And the irony? Her constant presence, her being so available, starts to completely suffocate his own feelings. She was just too accessible. So to try and get his plan back on track, he rejects her again, really harshly this time. And it works, a little too well. She vows never to see him again. And it's only then, in the face of a real, painful, year-long absence, that he finally gets what he was looking for. His own love is totally inflamed by her scarcity. He ends up a victim of his own game. And that whole story, it really just boils down to this incredible quote. Absence is like a test. If the connection is weak, like a little candle, absence will just snuff it out. But if the passion is real, if it's a roaring fire, well, absence is just going to make it burn that much hotter. All right, so this isn't just about love stories. This exact same idea can be scaled all the way up to seize the very highest levels of political power. Check out this absolute masterclass in strategy from a guy named Dioceses in ancient Medea. He didn't just grab power, he made people give it to him. Step 1, he builds this flawless reputation as the only fair judge around. Step 2, he makes himself indispensable. And then, step 3, right when everyone needs him most, he quits. He just vanishes. Chaos follows, and the people, totally desperate, don't just ask him to come back, they offer him a crown. And get this, once he becomes king, he doesn't stop. He doubles down big time. He locks himself away in a palace that no ordinary person could ever enter, only communicating through messengers. By making his physical presence so incredibly scarce, he elevated his whole status. People stopped seeing him as just a man. His absence created this legend that he was something more, maybe even divine. There's this old Chinese parable that just nails this idea. The cock or the rooster has 5 great virtues, courage, all that stuff. But it's everywhere. It's common. So it ends up on the dinner table.
The snow goose, on the other hand, has no real virtues to speak of, but it's a rare sight, and because of that, it's prized and valued. It's all about rarity. And it's not just ancient fables. I mean, even Napoleon, a guy who was a complete master of public image, he got this instinctively. He knew that if he became a common sight, if people saw him too much, that larger-than-life aura he'd built would just fade. And if you want a really wild example of this from economics, look no further than the 17th century Dutch tulipomania. Merchants created this insane value simply by making certain tulips artificially scarce. This drove demand so high that a single tulip bulb could be worth more than its weight in gold. It became the ultimate status symbol, purely because it was so hard to get. So we've seen how insanely powerful this can be. But, and this is a huge but, you have to be careful. Get the timing wrong and this whole strategy just blows up in your face. Which brings us to the single most important part of this whole idea, knowing when not to use it. When does creating absence actually backfire? Completely. Because it really, really can. And here is the answer. This is the one rule you absolutely cannot forget. Absence only works after your presence has already established value. You can't be missed if you were never really there to begin with. Leaving too early doesn't make you mysterious, it just makes you forgotten. So think of it this way. You have to lay the groundwork first. In the beginning, you need to be everywhere. You have to build a reputation, become a fixture in people's lives, be seen, be valued. Because only what is seen and loved and relied upon will ever actually be missed when it's gone. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this question to think about in your own life. Where could a little strategic absence actually be more powerful than constant presence? But more importantly, have you built enough value first to make sure your absence will truly be felt? Thanks for joining me for this one.